Hey guys, this is Dumb People versus Movies. This is our first episode. And, okay, fine, I'm just going to introduce you guys. So, introduce yourselves.
Alright, well, this is Wiley.
This is Sean Paul.
This is Blake.
And today we're talking about Kong Skull Island first because that's what just got released.
Wait, what's your name?
And my name is Danny. I'm Indian. Alright. So, first we're going to talk about Kong Skull Island, and then we're going to talk about The Last Samurai because that's what we all watched this last week. Mm-hmm. And then at the end we'll talk about whatever we want. So, yeah. First, I'm gonna guess. I'll ask Wiley what he thought of Kong Skull Island.
Kong Skull Island. Let's see. I thought it was a good movie, right? So, I mean, the previous weeks we watched. What was it? We watched Get Out and Logan. After that, which I mean, those are phenomenal movies. So compared to those, just like theatrical wise, I don't think it can compare. I think it was a solid. I think for people who like King Kong, I think this movie was fantastic to them. There was a lot of action in it. I do have to say they made Kong significantly bigger, probably foreshadowing the obvious movie between Godzilla and King Kong just to make it a fair fight. They kind of had to do that. But if you like action, if you like King Kong, I think it's going to be a fantastic movie for you. There's certain cinematic things that I think should have been fixed. Just some things that weren't quite making sense, so you could say.
Like every character.
Yeah, basically.
Well, there wasn't much character development. I mean, granted, there was only really one character, maybe two, that I felt attached to.
Who are they?
One, let's see. One would have been obviously the main girl.
Brie Larson.
See,
I disagree, but...
You think?
Yeah, no.
Okay, but when she gets thrown off to the side, I felt that. And then, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of things that it was play-by-play, step-by-step. You said, oh, this is going to happen next before it happens. It was very, like, telltale what was going to happen. Like, oh, Kong's going to pick her out of the water. Ooh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, I was sick the day they all went to see it, so I haven't seen Kong yet, so... Still waiting on seeing that.
So we're trying to convince him.
Yeah, so based on this review, he's going to decide whether he wants to watch it or not.
I think the best character was the one that was on the island for the longest time.
I agree.
John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly.
He did a really good job.
He was the only one
incredible actor.
He was the only one I cared about.
Okay, but
him and King Kong.
Obviously. I agree. I guess King Kong. You felt it passed to him, so I guess
he was the only character.
John C. Reilly, wasn't he the bomber?
No, he's in.
He was the American pilot.
Pilot that gets stranded on the island. He's living on there for like 26 years or something.
That's what I'm saying. The bomber. He was a bomb.
He might have been a bomber.
We don't know.
He was a pilot.
He was a pilot.
Yeah, and he crashed on the island.
I liked that they showed the friendship between the.
Well, they didn't really show the friendship.
They didn't show the friendship, but there was they showed that there was.
It was pretty deep because he said something like, once you took off the war jackets or something like that, we're brothers. And
yeah, exactly.
I mean, once they were fighting each other, and once they realized there was Kong, they're like, oh, they're friends all of a sudden, because they have to be.
Because they're the only two people on that island that know.
But, I mean, that's not what this movie's about. This movie's about Kong. Mm-hmm. And he's easily the best character in this movie. We get to see him walking around, eat a squid or whatever that was.
Oh, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a spoiler.
Nah, that was cool. I think
it's not going to be too much of a problem for me if you do spoil stuff.
No, I mean there's not.
I don't want to spoil it for the listeners either.
No.
So.
Now, if this was Star Wars, The Last Jedi.
Well, Luke dies, but okay.
Boy, if you don't.
So yeah, I mean, my favorite part was obviously Kong.
Yeah.
I liked how all the weird animals that were on the island.
I agree. I think that
huge ant.
Oh my god!
So
no,
cool.
the spider.
The spider.
That thing was creepy as fuck,
yeah.
dude.
And its legs were like toothpicks.
We see the man. That his actor's name is Toby Kebbell when he's by himself, which is kind of a dumb character because he's like writing to his son. No one cares about.
I agree.
And they just
kill him. How are those letters going to get to his son?
Yeah,
he was hoping to survive.
Well, he's hoping to survive.
I agree, but then what's he going to do? Here, son, I wrote these letters for you.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know, but Dear Billy.
That was just really dumb.
Yeah. But that was the whole thing was dumb. But anyway. So I was kind of hoping that guy would die, so I'm glad he did. But
hoping.
So he's on that tree trunk. We're like, oh, it's just a normal tree trunk, and then it like turns into this like weird animal.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, it's just some weird vegetarian.
It's like an ant.
It was a friendly animal.
Stick bug.
Stick bug. It's like a huge stick bug. And we're like, oh, it's just a herbivore. It's cool. There's herbivores in this island too. And then it starts backing away from him because he like has a little fire in his hand. He's like, and we're like, oh, it's scared of the fire. And then all of a sudden the skull crawler comes and like eats.
That was probably one of the only jump scares that I jumped at.
Yeah. But, like, we see that's one of the smaller skull crawlers. Mm-hmm. And so when he's like, that's not the dad skull crawler or whatever, we're like, oh, man, how big is it going to be?
See, I have
and
to
I
say,
think Phil, because that thing was
when
massive.
we talked about this, you guys didn't agree with me. But when he was talking about wait until like the bigger one comes, I thought that was foreshadowing Godzilla because they were.
No.
You guys didn't agree.
Well, because we knew they were already making a Godzilla. Well, okay, there's actually a lot of problems with that because the first Godzilla takes place present day, which was 2014. So that, and this movie takes place in the 70s.
73, I think, right?
I don't remember.
Something like that.
It's after the Vietnam War, so that it's after
during.
76.
It was during the Vietnam.
Oh, during?
No, they were just leaving. They were just leaving.
Oh, they were?
Yeah.
I think
They were
it's
just
after
leaving.
76.
They were just leaving.
Was it 76?
The war wasn't over yet.
Oh, okay.
They were pulling out.
It was almost over.
Did the war end 76?
I can't remember.
I don't remember the movie. I don't know if I'm going to watch it again.
Back
But still, so I would say all the fights, all the weird animals, all of them fighting each other, Kong was amazing. And he's in the movie a lot. So
yes,
if you like seeing a huge King Kong, which I do,
yeah,
I would watch this movie.
Yeah, definitely. I think
but
it was
every human character, basically, besides John C. Reilly, I hated.
Yeah,
and I didn't care about.
Hate's a strong word.
Yeah, no, I hate.
But
it
might be a right word. But
yeah,
like Brie. Okay, let's talk about this.
I think no connection.
So the mission was it was a top secret mission.
Yeah.
Where they needed the army to go.
Spoiler alert.
Well, no, that's basically the trailer. It's a top secret mission where the army assists them to go see the island, what's on the island, or whatever. So they send a photographer to go with them.
Yeah, I do think that's bizarre.
And they say she's
anti-war.
Anti-war. So why would they pick an anti-war photographer?
And you can see some banter.
Like she's not going to leak any pictures.
No, but they had that. Especially during the Vietnam War period, they actually
I know they did.
Anti-war photographers.
But the army hired her to go on this top secret mission,
which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the army in it, what did you guys think about Samuel L. Jackson's character?
Well, I mean, if she's getting,
I
thought it was
this is where I disagreed with you guys. You liked him?
I thought it was
Richie? I don't remember.
I thought that he was your stereotypical villain.
I thought he was a dumb villain. Like
who?
Samuel L. Jackson's character.
I agree that his motivation was for nothing. Like it didn't.
It was kind of dumb.
They should have developed his motivation more. Like, what is that? Like, oh wait, you mean he's already dead?
I mean,
we're still gonna go kill him because why would you risk all your men?
Almost turn almost every character into like a caricature of like each other. Like, oh, this is the huge army general that wants to go to war with no matter what because he doesn't want to leave the war or whatever.
Well, and
this guy's this Brie Larson's the photographer that's always gonna find. Compassion or whatever, blah blah. blah. Tom Hiddleston's the cool guy that knows where to go and everything. And
the Loki
guy.
Yep, Loki.
Now, how was he in that movie?
He's a good actor, but
he's a good actor. But
was his role? Was
there's no connection.
British Special Forces.
Yeah, that's what he was.
Yes,
SAS. Probably.
Yeah, but they hired him as a tracker, which kind of makes. He maybe does one tracking thing. I don't know. The Kong's like 40,000 feet high. He doesn't track anything. He's right there.
And I would like to know like the dimensions of the island because they seem to get places pretty quick.
That's true.
Yeah.
And the time shifts is like it's always night and day.
You have to think.
But like,
and you have to think about if they get from point A to point B in a heartbeat. How big is that island for Kong?
And how big is Kong? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, is it like a little playground?
No, because sometimes
for him,
they're like
to go around?
Sometimes they're like at the beginning, like it's a 3 days trip from on the river to the evacuation point.
Kong is like
the west end of the island.
3 hours.
Originally, when John C. Reilly's like, oh no, it's going to take days to get there unless. And I thought he was going to be like, unless we ride with King Kong or something.
Yeah, me too. That's what I thought too.
King Kong's going to take one. He's like, oh, unless we go by river. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh.
The boat wasn't even going that fast, so
no, it was going pretty slow.
The plane motor.
Yeah,
so I don't know. I want to know how that.
But I will be. I guess I won't say that. I mean, that's too big of a spoiler.
Yeah.
But did they really give you an idea how big the island was?
I don't think that's a major issue, honestly.
I don't think it's a major issue. Like, but in the first pan across when they first get there, it looked really big. The island did when they pan across it, going through the stuff with their helicopters, and even the scenes with the helicopter.
Oh, that helicopter scene, though,
that was good. But then you think
Kong just like destroying all. If
it takes 3 days, but it takes like a 3-day turn into like a 2-hour ride.
I mean, they have to kind of do that. I mean, that's not important.
I mean, obviously,
no one cares about the geographics of the island, but
well, I mean, but
that's the main point. But I will. Okay, so this is what I was saying. I think I was telling Weston this, but I equate King Kong to Rogue One a lot because in Rogue One maybe had a little better characters than
like development wise.
Yeah, development wise, and what I cared about if they died or whatever. Yeah, but it's kind of similar. But then the third act in both movies, especially in this movie, you finally get to see the two huge monsters fighting each other. Yeah, and I think it exceeded my expectations of like what the fight was going to be.
The fight scene was fantastic.
It was amazing.
The fight scene was
it
really
showed
good.
that King Kong wasn't just a stupid animal.
No,
Yeah, he's smart.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
like tying it. He's like basically tying it up. Like
I don't. Okay,
but he's throwing elbows.
Too much of a spoiler.
He's throwing elbows.
True.
Oh man,
When he sticks
he's
his
throwing
hand in
actual
when he
punches.
sticks his hand in the lizard.
Oh, yeah, true.
Oh,
we won't say that.
Yeah,
but
no.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
man.
so I think. Yeah, I think we talked about it enough, right? Or do you want to talk about it a little more?
Well, hold on.
Actually-
we need to give our scores though.
No, I was gonna say that, but actually before that, let's talk about the post-credit scene.
The post-credit scene.
Yeah.
All right, you can go first.
All right, so the post-credit scene was after they get back. They also of course the three main characters they survive, and everyone
Spoilers.
and there's some other few side characters, I guess. But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
they get back, and the post-credit scene is Brie Larson's character and Tom Hiddleston's character. They're sitting in the room and they think they're locked in because
Uh-huh.
they're in some government building, obviously. And then one of the scientists that also survived from the island, he comes in and he's like, "We're from Monarch." That's the organization that originally led them to the island because they thought things were there.
Yeah.
And so they're like, "Oh, why are we here?" And like, because you saw things. And you know the Hollow Earth theory of why all these monsters exist? There's actually more, and they're under the island.
And they show
and they show like cave drawings of the different monsters and stuff like that.
like Godzilla and
And
Hydra.
the last cave drawing is like Godzilla fighting. I don't know what monster it was, but anyway.
I think so. Do you think
But this is
Do you think
what?
that foretells the next Godzilla movie, or do you think that foretells an entire other movie with more
I
characters?
think that's
Or a universe for
See,
more
'cause
or
the
a
next-
universe, yeah, or
No,
an
see-
entire universe movie.
well. We already know this universe is just gonna have King Kong Godzilla.
You think?
Yeah, because I don't think they want to crowd it with more. But
Yeah.
I will say the next Godzilla movie is called Godzilla King of Monsters. I think Godzilla King of Monsters.
So I think even
he
that
might
title,
fight those three monsters.
Well,
Godzilla.
I think Godzilla that movie is going to be a lot like Batman versus Superman in some respects. How they fight each other first and they work together.
No,
for
but I'm
the
not
movie.
talking about Godzilla versus King Kong.
You're not?
No, I'm talking about just there's going to be
Oh,
a solo
just the next
Godzilla
Godzilla movie. Yeah, yeah,
he's going to be by
That's
himself.
funny. They mentioned this Hollow Earth thing right
Yeah.
under the number at the beginning of, or I think around the beginning of Godzilla. Remember those two pterodactyl-like creatures
Maybe.
on that island, and they saw how they came from underground, and it just went so far
yeah?
deep under the island. They were like, "Where? What?
Yeah.
You remember that?" So
That's probably connected. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
You got the connection. We didn't even get it.
Yeah, I didn't watch Godzilla.
You didn't even watch
I
it.
haven't watched Godzilla for a
Well,
long time.
if you watch that, there's a scene where I think they're like pterodactyl like creatures, but
Maybe you need to go see
there was
Kong.
a
You'll
scene
find more
where
connections than we will.
I think you would enjoy it though.
I'm sure I will.
Oh, just
I mean,
the
I'm
pterodactyl.
not a huge fan, but I just like
Yeah.
it because I like big. Who doesn't like
yeah,
big
who doesn't like
badass
big
monsters?
Who doesn't? Who doesn't like monsters fighting each other?
Yeah,
Really?
especially when they're gigantic
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you have little GI Joes running around. Like,
yeah.
you know,
They're basically like
who
walking
doesn't like
toothpicks
that?
to King Kong and yeah.
All right, but anyway, what I was going to say about that post-credit scene, it was a cool post-credit scene. You're like, oh
Yeah.
man, all these monsters. But why was John C. Reilly not in that room?
I don't know.
He was on that island for 28 years. Why would
I
they not
agree.
want him?
I agree. That's a good point because why would
He's
he?
the one that actually knows about the island.
At the end of the movie, I don't know if this gives too much away. So spoiler alert.
Well, we've already
so-
spoiled all of it, so.
That's true. But
Oh.
they show him.
Well, we
So
take away
spoiler
the
alert.
post-credit
Just
Yeah.
spoiler alert. If you don't want to know, you can end. If you want to know, if you're like me and are
Well, we've spoiled most
nosy,
of it, so.
we would want to know. So at the end, you see him going home. Unrealistically, in my opinion, 28 years later,
Yeah.
his wife's still alive, and his son's like, "Oh my god,
Still
Dad."
living with his mom.
He was hardly alive, still living with
What
his
a
mom.
loser.
28 years later. Anyway, maybe they were just for Sunday brunch. Who
Yeah,
knows?
no.
Okay, but
And they're
that's kind of
recording.
unrealistic. So
Who's recording it? They never explained that.
I agree. But then again, you would think that maybe they did that so they would say, "Oh, well, he's at home with his family." But do you really think that organization's gonna care where he is? They're gonna want to know, like,
Exactly. He should have been in that room.
he should have been in that room. I agree.
Unless
Oh,
they
well.
killed him
That's just a minor
because he
thing.
knew too much.
Well, that we see him alive. so.
Unless they killed him,
He
yeah.
knew Bush did 9/11,
Yeah.
or he knew
let's not
Bush
get-
was going to do 9/11.
all right. So I guess we'll just go around and give our scores
Yeah, I'm good with
out of
that.
5.
You want to go first, Blake?
Yeah, so I do not agree. It wasn't a good movie. It was a very fun movie. The action in this movie was really, really
I
good. Everything just led up to Kong, though.
Yeah.
And There should have been way more character development.
I agree.
They could have just added a couple more lines to at least make you care about them.
Yeah.
Because all the actors in this movie were really great actors.
I agree, but I think the script...
Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, Samuel L. Jackson, these are all, like, Oscar contenders.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Well,
maybe not Tom Hiddleston yet,
yeah.
but...
Samuel Jackson, though.
Samuel Jackson and Brie
Larson
are both, like,
John
Oscar-nominated actors.
Yeah, John Goodman's barely in the movie. But
yeah, John Goodman's barely even in the movie. So I would... But because of Kong...
Spoiler alert! He dies.
Spoiler. Yeah.
But because of Kong and because of that third act, especially, I'd give this 3 out of 5 stars.
3 out of 5?
Yeah.
I'd also give it...
TBA.
What did I give it? No, 3.5. I'll give it 3.5 out of 5.
3.5?
Yeah, because I agree with everything you said. Characters are bad. What most people that are reviewing movies will say. The characters are bad. Kong is good.
Yeah.
But I also really like Kong.
Yeah.
And that third act with Kong fighting the monster is amazing. Mm-hmm. And when Kong puts Brie Larson down after he's done fighting, I was just hoping they would follow Kong and not Brie Larson, and they followed Brie Larson. So.
And they followed Brie Larson. I've got to give it...
Do you not like her as an actress?
No, I love Brie Larson. She's one of my favorite actresses, but
the character
is useless. She's a photographer, and
they followed her mostly throughout the movie.
It's basically kind of from her point of view, and like the one... Yeah, basically. Like, we're cheering for her. We're supposed to be... And there's this random scene in the movie where, like, they climb up this hill and they see Kong, and then Kong...
Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that scene.
Oh, are they reiterating back to the original?
They're going back to the original. Yeah. Like, the originals actually focus on that relationship between Kong and the blonde girl, or whoever it would be.
Yeah.
This one is just like, oh, you already know that story, so here's the blonde girl, here's the Kong. Oh, you know that. You already know
Okay, let's talk about that scene, though. When they go up the mountain, it's start day, and then they get there, and it's night. Yeah. What?
Well, it's a long climb.
A long climb. So they're just sitting there.
They're in shape.
How long were those people sitting there? Realistically. And then it's night.
Well, they were supposed to wait till dawn, so, yeah.
I guess, but still.
Yeah, no, it's kind of dumb. But
so, what I would give it, I think I would have to agree with Blake. I give it a 3. If it wasn't for all the action.
Okay.
Wow. If it wasn't for all the action, it would be a way worse movie. I mean, it would just be a movie full of undeveloped characters.
Well, even if King Kong was just like Godzilla, it'd be a way worse movie. Because Godzilla was like in the movie for like 20 minutes in Godzilla.
I think King Kong,
or maybe, probably a lot less. But King Kong was in this movie for at least the half of the movie.
I agree.
And every scene with him
every scene with him made
near perfect. It was near perfect.
If all the scenes without King Kong were as good as the scenes with King Kong, I think it would have been a 5-star movie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So if you're gonna go watch the movie, viewer or Sean, watch it for the scenes with Kong.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the main reason. Yeah. I want to see it for that, and just and what really intrigued me was the helicopter scenes when he brings down
those are great scenes.
That scene that was the scene that got me hooked, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, a palm tree flying through a helicopter by Kong. That just looked cool. That's what caught my attention.
The trailers for this movie
make
you think it's a 5-star movie. I will say that. The trailers are fantastic.
But what I'm trying to say is that it just got my attention because I want to see Kong.
As a viewer, yeah.
I just want to see Kong.
Yeah, exactly.
Destroy things.
Unlike Danny was saying.
So I was looking it up. This guy on Reddit apparently timed how long Godzilla's on screen. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't say.
Oh well.
So he said he got it for 10 minutes 46 seconds.
Yeah.
And he says give or take a minute. But still, that's not a lot. Kong's in this for more than 10 minutes.
And how long was
Godzilla?
That
third act was probably 10 minutes by itself. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, and I always like Kong as a character. So
yeah.
And I know it feels like we're coming off of this movie negatively. I really enjoyed my time in this movie.
It was a good movie.
Like I was on the edge of my seat for most of the movie. It was a really great action movie.
But for the movies that have already come out,
it wasn't a great movie.
But the problem with this movie is like they think we care about these humans and we don't. We're following these humans getting back, and we really don't. We're like kind of bored, and then we get excited when we see a random monster.
I'm starting to see that more and more now with Gareth Edwards. That's the director's name, right?
No, not of Kong.
Not of Kong?
No, he directed Godzilla.
Who directed Kong?
Jordan Vogt Roberts or something like that.
So it wasn't Gareth Edwards?
No.
Huh. I would have thought so. Because I would have made the plain distinction between... He probably doesn't do very good then with character developments. Because if we kind of see that with Rogue One,
I think we need more movies from him to decide, because...
I don't know. And Godzilla, those characters in there.
And Godzilla, they do fall around the
main guy
more, and Taylor Johnson.
But
yeah.
Oh, if they hadn't killed off who was the guy?
Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
That's because everyone likes Bryan Cranston. But
Anyhow,
so overall, we gave it 3.5.
So that rounds down to 3.
3.5.
That rounds down to a 3 out of 5.
Oh yeah, 3.
No, that's a lot. That's higher than 3.
3.25.
We're not doing 3.25 out of 5. We're doing 3 or 3.
I'm gonna do the math.
Oh my goodness.
All right, so
3.36 bar.
So, did any of you else have anything else to add?
I don't think so.
I think the comedy actually really worked in this movie.
I agree.
So
the pilot was hilarious. What was his name?
John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly was hilarious. By far the most comedic character.
And there's also, like, the deaths in this movie are actually very funny.
I agree. The deaths are either funny or extremely dramatic.
Yeah.
Even if you don't care about the characters, you're still like, oh
they're
my god.
They're either super gruesome. Well, most of them are super gruesome.
Like, oh my god, he just got a spike stuck through it.
Yeah. Or oh my god, they were just laughing and this guy's getting his arm torn off.
Really. Literally.
But then
that was so easy to see. They kind of just pan the camera to him. And
I agree. It was easy to see, but still, they were just having a good time. Then all of a sudden, bam, he's getting his arm.
All right. So overall, our score for this movie was a 3.16. So that's
okay. We're the rounds down.
So the first movie. So the first movie we ever reviewed was a 3.16.
3 out of 5.
3.17 out of 5. 3.17.
3.1.
All right. So now we're gonna do. So we all have a movie club thing that we just tell each other which movie to watch each week.
Yeah, every week.
And the guy that told us to watch it isn't here this week, but we're doing The Last Samurai.
Yeah. His name is.
So we've all seen The Last Samurai. Sean's seen it probably more than any of us. Probably more than us.
I actually just watched it last night.
We all watched it in the last
seen it twice.
4 days or whatever.
I just watched it last night, so.
We're going to talk about The Last Samurai. It was directed by Edward Zwick, and it stars Tom Cruise, Ken Watanabe, some other people. And how about Blake? You go first. What do you think about The Last Samurai?
I thought The Last Samurai was way better than it should have been.
All right, so let's go to me now because that was a bad opinion.
Oh my goodness.
That was a bad opinion.
No, keep
because your opinion.
No, okay. So this movie suffers mostly because
it's a bad movie.
No, it's not. It's not a bad movie. It's got a lot of just weird things about Japan that actually don't happen in Japan ever.
But apparently you and Sean were arguing about this. So.
Yeah, we were. Well,
it was a misunderstanding. It was mostly him. I was just trying to clarify.
Him misunderstanding on Blake's part.
I was trying to clarify more with things, but that was about it.
No, this movie's actually it's pretty good. The first act of the movie really dull and boring. It's introducing Tom Cruise as an asshole character, which he is for the first half of the movie, but then he redeems himself towards the end. But once it gets to the second act and third act, I think it actually really picks up because that's whenever you're introduced to all these Japanese characters in the village. You see how you see their Japanese culture, and you see Tom Cruise actually becoming more accustomed to them.
Part of them, yeah.
And part
of their culture.
If I can just add to that real quick, I think that was probably the best part of the whole movie.
Yeah.
Was him being a hostage.
Yeah.
In that village.
A hostage. Yeah.
Well, that was
a hostage turned friend.
Yeah, exactly. Which is cool. Which is cool to see that.
I like that whole sequence. But anyhow.
Now, one of Danny's arguments for the theatrical, misleading parts of the movie is the fact that Tom Cruise, this character, just killed the lady's wife.
Husband.
Lady's wife. Lady's husband.
Yeah, the Red Samurai.
Yeah.
But then she just forgives him off the bat.
She doesn't forgive him off the bat, though. That's
not off the bat, okay. But the movie's based on one season.
Yeah, it's based on the winter.
It's
based during winter.
Exactly. So, that's 3-4 months.
But you can't say
get over your husband's death.
Yeah, but you can't say someone is quicker to forgive. And not to mention, in that culture, obviously we can tell she loved her husband by just how much she grieved over him. But in some cases, there were...
Well, she even asked to kill herself because she couldn't bear being in the home with Tom,
but I'm not sure how that works. I don't know that much about Japanese history. Yeah. But I'm just arguing from the movie's perspective. Mm-hmm. Maybe she forgave him and she saw... that's why she felt the honor to let him wear her husband.
I agree.
Her husband's armor because she saw more of him. I'm not sure what she saw.
I would argue that was completely historically inaccurate for them to let him wear that armor.
Probably.
I mean, the entire honor in that culture
Yeah, it would have been.
Not even that. So
she would have saved it for her sons when they got of age.
Or
not
or even not even maybe that. I mean, because think about how holy they acted as samurais.
Well,
and the fact that some white guy can just come in and wear the armor.
It's not so much holy. It's more like passing on the honor. So that's why I said to her kids.
Yeah.
When her oldest son got older, he would fight for war.
Yeah, that's way more plausible.
But that's how it would work. And I would assume in that culture, because it was like, hey, you're honoring our family's tradition. Mm-hmm. You know, you bring honor to your ancestors.
And that was the whole thing, right? With
that's
Tim
why
Watanabe's thing, passing down the sword.
Well, that's why
son.
World War II, so many American soldiers who looted from dead Japanese officers who had katanas, and these swords were passed down generations and generations. But that's swords. I'm not sure about armor.
But the fact that this tradition's 1,000 years old, and they just let some white guy come in and
that's what I wanted to give the background of the story. It was based off a French guy, a French officer. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I forgot his name, Jean. I think it was Jean something. You look it up, Danny. But he see what happened during this time period. A lot of the Americans and English were in favor of the imperialism growing up in Japan.
Obviously, because that
but the French saw more profit if they helped those to preserve their culture. So they had a lot of guys help train them. And that's the kind of thing with this movie. It shows them all fighting, in traditional samurai armors and spear. Well, they took guns too. Well, they took cannons too from the French and all. Yeah. That's a thing. But this guy, I'm not sure how it ended up. Did he wear traditional armor? Did he not? Did he get a sword from a Japanese samurai?
I don't
know how it got.
I love the connection in the last battle that they made with the Spartans at Thermopylae.
Oh, well, I kind of saw it more. I mean, me being Hungarian. It's as a Hungarian depth charge sequence. Yeah. Because several times in their history, they had depth charge moments, is what I call it. Yeah. They would just break through lines, and then they get to the enemy, the general's tent, the general's line on his place of the field, and they get all wiped out. That's happened countless times in Hungarian history, so I kind of saw it at that. But yeah, I could see it as a thermopylae.
Well, the last battle especially really showed the pride of the samurai. Like,
I agree.
Because they even said the kid, the little kid, the girl's son.
Yes.
Her oldest son said, Are you scared every time you go into battle? And then he started crying because he's like, I'm scared, but my dad said that dying in battle is one of the greatest one of the greatest things a samurai can do.
Yeah.
And then that's whenever Tom Cruise says, I'm scared every time I go into battle.
I mean, this movie plays a lot on Japanese honor. As you can see, Komatsu was the... Katsumoto. Yeah, was the samurai's name. And even...
He was one of my favorite... I think he was my favorite character in the movie.
Even though
he was really good.
I agree. Even though Katsumoto.
The general.
Okay, yeah,
even though Tom Cruise's character was saying, like, no, don't kill yourself right now. Don't feel defeated. We need to go after this. As they were both pretty much, I would say Tom Cruise was in just a little bit better shape than him, but all laying on the battleground. He says, no, hold out. And then Katsumoto says, I will die, like, let me die the way, in my honor, and you die in your honor.
Yeah,
that's one of the most emotional scenes for me, when Tom Cruise helps him up and he kills himself.
Yeah, he helps him.
But honestly, in my opinion, as you just said, he helps him kill himself. Have you ever heard of the love suicide of Iwo? That's weird because it's like a play. I just read it in World War II, actually. But the odd thing is that so they both kill each other because they can't be together, right? But the thing is they're supposed to be committing suicide and they kill each other. So if he's supposed to be committing suicide, isn't it kind of odd that Tom Cruise shoves the knife inside of him to kill him?
That's because he couldn't do it himself.
I agree.
They were so sluttied.
But he's killing him. I mean, right?
Wait.
Well, even whenever like the general at the very beginning, whenever they lost and they captured him, even he asked Katsumoto to help him to behead him
after he
did.
But that's how their honor was.
I guess, yeah.
And
he even said it's an honor that he asked. It's my honor.
Wait, so your argument is that since Tom Cruise did it wasn't suicide?
Yeah.
So like, what about like people on their deathbed? And some machines keeping them alive, and they say, "I don't want you can unplug it or whatever. I just want to go." Is that this person choosing they want to die, or is that the other person choosing the doctor choosing they can die or whatever?
I don't know. That's a good argument. Yeah.
No, I mean, it's obviously the
but it's
person
not their wish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what Katsumoto was saying.
I mean, if he could,
that's why he said you had your honor again.
If he could do it himself, he would have done it. So.
Yeah.
And that's why. And if you listen, and obviously you would know, but like he
Yeah,
said, help me up.
Yeah.
You know, and
I agree with that. If he would have done it himself, he would have. So I think that's the principle of the thing. So I say, yeah, it's all the same.
That was an emotional scene,
But I do agree. That
I do get how that's like a. I mean, how
it's questionable.
Iffy line. Like, what if you saw someone about to commit suicide, but they were like 20 years old, and you didn't stop them when you could have?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Are you like complacent, or are you like part of it, or what?
But my main point of that whole scene that I like that I was about to say is that like I loved how they both died in their honor, even though Tom Cruise didn't.
Yeah.
Die, he died in his honor.
But what got me in that scene was when you see Katsumoto's eyes welling up and he sees the Japanese cherry blossom trees. I love that. I personally, before I've watched that movie, I've always loved those trees.
And he goes out,
and I thought that was perfect.
And
I just thought of Batman Begins with the same purple flower. And he like takes it up to the hill because Ken Watanabe's in that too. So.
And he went out saying
they were
the
all
perfect
blossom.
They
were all perfect.
No, Batman didn't go out like that.
But thinking about that now, I just thought about that now. What if he's also talking about the dead, his men who died?
Were all perfect.
Yeah.
They were all
perfect. I can see that.
I mean, because they all basically died.
Yeah.
In battle.
With
honor, as far as we know. Yeah. You know. But.
So I feel like we should have explained what the movie's about at the beginning.
Oh, sorry.
We went off track.
Yeah, at least give a little story.
You kind of jumped into it.
Yeah.
You want to do it. You've probably seen it the most out of all of us, Sean, if you want to do it.
Just explain it in what? Paragraph or less.
Oh, jeez, I can't.
We got one paragraph.
Okay, so basically... This ex-American cavalry officer,
this white guy,
who was been through several battles. I think he's been through the Civil War, but I know he did a lot with attacks on Native Americans and so on and so forth. But he gets hired by Japanese imperialists to help train their troops in Japan and train their soldiers in return for a lot of money, which to him is like a fortune. But so Nathan Algren is the main character's name, who's played by Tom Cruise. He agrees, he goes overseas, he helps train the army, and eventually, during the training, when the troops he's training aren't ready for their battle, they immediately get sent out on a march order to fight off Katsumoto, the samurai general, him and his troops. So basically, they did some raiding. So
by the way, spoiler alert.
That's not really.
Anyhow, they get called into battle, and Algren's like, "These guys aren't ready though," but nobody cares, so they just send them into battle. Anyway,
All right, you got 2 more sentences.
Lo behold, when that battle comes, they get their asses kicked. The imperialist, and Algren gets captured. He ends up in Katsumoto, the Japanese general, samurai general's custody, and he spends the entire season there. That's good. Learns more about him, and then in the end, it gets to the point where he respects the samurai's way and is willing to die for the samurai with Katsumoto and his men. So
I don't know about for the samurai. I would say with.
That's what I said. Yeah. If I said for, I apologize, but I meant with. He was willing to die along with him.
So let's just how about we just give our thoughts on the movie pretty fast. We already explained what we liked and didn't like about it.
I actually really enjoyed Tom Cruise's character because he went from. I don't understand what you don't like about him because he had some really messed up stuff to go through.
I mean, that's what I was gonna say.
The remorse of killing the
remorse, it showed scenes of them killing Indian children.
Yeah, but that felt so forced. Like, how is that forced? It felt like that was in there just so we could feel sorry for that character.
I don't think so.
I don't think it was feeling sorry. It was to show his growth as a character throughout the.
Yeah, but that felt like it was just there. Like, feel sorry for this guy. He didn't want to do that, but because he was a bad guy. But now he's not a bad guy anymore. He's a samurai.
He was drinking. That's the only reason. The big thing is he was drinking to forget, and then he would have all these nightmares and stuff.
I feel like I've seen a ton of movies that are about drinking to forget that are way better.
But that's such a common thing in life, though, especially for veterans.
But that's what I'm saying. This one felt so forced.
No,
he killed innocent people in his past, but now he's drinking to forget, and he's going to be a good guy.
But it's not the fact he's going to be a good guy.
It's just, you could have seen at the very beginning he's going to become a good guy.
I agree with that, but at the same time, they do it in a way that you wouldn't expect.
Like, if they would have kept him as a tortured character throughout the whole movie. But no, like...
As a tortured... Like,
as a tortured character, he's always fighting with it. But after a certain point, he's, like, not even fighting with it anymore.
Well, but I think they explain why. Because the house lady that he just killed her husband wouldn't let him drink while he was in that room, right?
Yeah. So now he just forgets all the past?
But probably because she knew better. Probably because she knew, it's not going to help.
Yeah, exactly.
Drinking.
But so then he forgets about all that stuff?
No.
I mean,
but that's...
he never
forgot.
They never forgot.
They never reference it
because
again,
whenever Katsumoto and him were talking in his shrine garden,
yeah,
he was like, I've done some messed up shit.
Yeah, but that's early on in the.
He was like, you don't know anything.
That's still early on in the prison.
No, that's not early on. That was almost at the very end.
I would argue that was the first connection him and Katsumoto had. Was
early
that
on.
They were
both soldiers.
They were both soldiers, and they're both like, we've both done terrible shit, and we we connect on that. The first connection was, why are you taking me here? Why am I having these conversations?
And I still didn't buy that either. Like, he was a prisoner, but they were like letting him live as like a normal dude.
That was weird.
Or one of my favorite lines when he was being...
What could he do?
Run away? Try to run away?
No,
he was being guarded the entire time.
Because
really.
Katsumoto...
Yeah.
And why
there's certain points where you're just like walking in the fields.
Yeah, but he was...
Followed by the guy!
And then even then...
But they don't even show him try. They don't even show him fighting. Like that.
Well, why would he fight?
What do you mean? Why he's a
He was
prisoner?
just so wounded, but he's so wounded.
But he
Never
didn't care
his
about it.
leg.
Yeah, so if he honestly wanted to kill himself or he wanted to die, why would he not try to run away?
Danny, you forget a spear went through his leg. At this
yeah,
first
but he doesn't
battle.
even try.
What could he do?
He could try.
No,
If he and the movie sets it up. The movie sets it up to where he wants to kill himself. He wants to die at some point. So the easiest way for him to do that would be to try to run away.
No,
and then he finds
it'd be the most painful way to die.
Or fight the person who's taking care of him, or fight little kids.
And then he finds the reason
little
to
kids.
live.
Is that what you said?
If he honestly wants to die, he doesn't even try.
I agree, but I mean, all right, Blake. So, what do you think of the movie?
No, he already said.
Yeah, I already said that.
He liked it way too much.
Sean?
No, I didn't like it way too much. I thought it was a good movie, though.
So
and plus, we haven't even talked about the best part of this movie. The action is actually really good.
Yeah.
I agree. The action was 5 out of 5 for me. The fight scenes.
I do like the scene with the assassins.
The ninjas that come and try to kill everyone. That scene was
you said that was your favorite
really
scene,
cool.
right?
That's my
Ninjas?
favorite scene.
Yeah.
That was a really good scene.
Whenever they were breaking Katsumoto out was also a very good scene. It was also pretty emotional because I actually liked the young Japanese guy.
Yeah, when he dies.
Whenever he dies, that was pretty sad because he was one of my favorite characters too.
But I think that was a big part of the movie. How you show him rushing and they just bam, bam, bam. I think that foreshadows what's about to happen to all of the. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they kind of were foreshadowing that.
Yeah.
Because he had 2 swords out, and that was a popular.
And he didn't even get to him. He just.
The music's by Hans Zimmer, so I didn't even know that.
Oh, now you're gonna like
I
it.
love this movie. That 5 out of 5.
That's okay.
5 out of 5. Would watch.
So you gave it a what?
I gave it a 3.5 out of 5.
So you like it more than Kong?
I do like it more than Kong because the biggest thing for me in movies is characters.
Yeah,
I love and these characters were good.
They were developed.
I thought they were developed and actually pretty good. I cared about Tom Cruise. I cared about Katsumoto. I cared about all the other Japanese guys that died. His generals were really were pretty well developed too.
The movie basically spoils the ending. The movie title basically spoils the ending.
Obviously,
for a 2.5 hour ending. Sorry, for a 2.5 hour movie, 2 hours and 34 minutes to be exact.
I was entertained for like 30 minutes.
I was entertained for the entire movie, and it felt like an hour and a half movie for me because I was honestly engaged with it the entire time.
the first act was definitely the worst act because you just didn't really care about anything that was happening.
But I think,
then after that,
I think that I agree with that. But I think my favorite part when it kicks up is with when they first get to Japan and he first starts training the troops and they start talking about the samurai.
Yeah,
and the line that really got me laughing is when who's the guy? The Scottish guy, the comedian, his Billy something. I forgot his name, but he's a famous
Billy
Scottish,
Connolly.
Yeah, he's a famous comedian. But I find it funny in that one scene where he was like mocking him as Algrim's flipping through the pages of the samurais, and he was like, "Oh, the bastard stood with armor."
Yeah.
And then the English guy said, "He's like, well, yes, and while your people were in loincloths, these people were the most sophisticated, human beings on earth." Showing that,
Yeah.
But I kind of
everybody has their peak.
Everyone has their peaks, but what I found, I like how they were just showing, ooh, samurai, brutal people, because you're seeing all these pictures and painting, and that's kind of how we see it. The Western world sees them. From our perspective, oh, these savages with bows and arrows, and you actually see them for who they are.
Yeah.
You know, and the scene, you know, after Algren comes back from captivity.
And he says, yeah.
And he was like, tell us what you saw. Do they have secret weapons? It's like, well, you know, as you said, they're savages with bows and arrows. He's like,
yeah.
American Yahooism.
So you gave it a 3.5 out of 4.
Five.
Out of 5. Yeah, 4. What? 3.5 out of 4. 5. Jeez. 3.5 out of 5. That's what you gave it. Sean, what would you give it? What would you rank it?
It would probably be the same as Blake's 3.5 out of a 5.
So if you guys, all you guys talked about was how much you guys liked this movie. So
no, here are the faults. Here are the faults I had.
There's a lot of stuff I didn't like about the movie too, but I just think that the stuff that I liked overshadowed the stuff.
Outweighed it.
The stuff that outweighed it was the strategy in that movie. Well, I mean, and I know it's a movie, but I think the battles in that movie went by, except the last battle, the first battle went by way too quick. It was just like, and the peasants riding like that, and then I'm thinking about, well, the fog of this battle, you know, which, you know, throws them up, and I'm just thinking, why would they move in to that area anyways? Yeah. Why fight in the forest if there's fog moved in? I mean, why not try to move out into the open fields and not risk getting trapped, on both sides? I'm just thinking of little stuff like that from that perspective. And then one scene that drove me nuts in the last battle, when Algren, he cuts his sword through a guy's rifle.
Mm-hmm.
That's just Hollywood, though.
That's what I'm saying. See, but they're trying to say, oh, you see, the katanas were much stronger, which they are. In some circumstances, I mean, you got a thick layer of wood, you know, polished, refurbished, over and over again, and steel in between that. It's just fantasized, but
like you see that we talked about Kong earlier. There's a scene with Tom Hiddleston where he's like with this sword, which I don't know why he has a sword, but then he's like cutting all these like weird dinosaur birds. You remember that are like flying in the air in the smoke, and like they have to show it in slow motion because it makes no sense. There's no way he can be swinging the sword that fast, like cutting like each bird that passes by him. I mean, every movie has stuff like that.
And then another fault.
I mean, it's more egregious when it's in a historical-based movie.
The end, when they finally bring out the Gatling guns, and they start mowing down.
It was weird to me they didn't bring those out sooner. They had the cannons.
Well, but that's the thing. Why didn't they have those out sooner to begin? And then, secondly, the thing kept going on longer. I think it's...
they said 200 rounds per minute.
Okay, so it's a minute. Or do they have a capacity of 100 rounds? And they quickly
They said 200 rounds per minute.
They said 200 rounds a minute.
Okay. That thing went off way longer than a minute. It was like going off for like 10 minutes.
That's just like little movie things. Yeah.
But I mean,
that can affect how much you like a movie. Yeah.
But to me, I see that. I'm just like, okay, when does it stop? Mm-hmm. But you know, and then if you look closely at the same clips, you see basically the same shots over and over again of the same samurais getting shot up, because then they'll pan out and they'll give you a larger variety of the horsemen falling down in it. It's the same horseman shot over and over again. So I found that kind of annoying.
Yeah, I agree.
But little stuff like that. I mean,
just nitpicky things.
The big thing I didn't like is how they portrayed the Imperial Japanese, the imperialistic Japanese people.
How Americanized or Westernized they were.
They were very Westernized. Whenever I'm 99% sure that's not how it was back then.
Well, I as I was saying earlier, with the men, I would think so. I mean, for looks, especially with ambassador, what do you call it? Negotiation meetings with other powers, like England, America. But the women, if you looked in the back, you saw like afterwards when it was Katsumoto and the Emperor talking, they were in their kimonos, traditional, and you see the women in the background, they're in their traditional kimonos. So you see that. So I'm not sure. I haven't read anything historically about that, but I would assume if they did kept it faithful to history, it was in the aspects of, hey, in front of these people, we're going to put on a show, dress up like them, be presentable. But outside, we're going to relax in our kimonos.
Yeah, if there's a historian listening, let us know.
I don't know. But, little stuff. I do understand what Blake says.
So, what you gave 3.5. Just go really quick.
For me, I'll go really quick. For me, it would be a 3.5 as well as them if it wasn't for that last battle scene. That puts it up to a 4 for me. I would give it a 4 out of 5 stars just because of that. Just because of that last battle.
It was an epic battle.
I'll agree with you. The first battle scene between the first battle between the samurai and the imperialists is rushed. I would say.
Well, and I'm sure they didn't want to make it.
I wouldn't even consider it rushed. I actually liked that because it showed
it was a good battle scene.
it showed how unprepared they were.
Exactly.
But that's why I do like that because it kind of gave me an overshadow.
Yeah.
In my perspective. Of like Western Europe, when people like the Huns, the Avars, or the Magyars showed up, they don't know these people. They see this and it's frightening from Nathan Albran's perspective. He's like,
and also just from the movie story, like as a viewer, you're watching, and the second he says these men aren't prepared, you know it's going to be a quick fight. You're not expecting like a drawn out battle where two people are fighting equally. But you know it's going to be they're going to lose, so I might as well just get over with.
Yeah. So for me, 4 out of 5.
All right, so 3 wrong ratings, and I'm gonna give it. So I gave it a 3 earlier, just half to like not make Westerners mad. I'm gonna give it a 2.5 because that's rotten on Rotten Tomatoes, and I don't think it's a fresh movie. So yeah, I'm giving it a 2.5.
Well, yeah, it's not a fresh movie. It came out like over 10 years ago.
On Rotten
Tomatoes,
it's
actually fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. So.
Oh, it is.
It's got like 69.
Yeah, 66.
Well, that's what you mean by fresh. I thought. You meant
so everything 16 over is fresh. So I'm gonna give it rotten because I don't like that movie.
So what's the average?
Oh, God. All right.
We did for the other one.
All right.
So what was the other one? 3.17? What's the other one? Kong Skull Island was 3.17.
It was a 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. So we had a 3.5, 3.5, and a 2.5.
Yep.
The last battle was pretty epic.
I love whenever he threw his sword. That was so unrealistic.
I think that was unrealistic too.
That was just hilarious.
Throwing the entire length samurai sword.
Yeah, and then just stabbing him. That part it was definitely unrealistic, but it was hilarious.
Just say like the 2 we gave.
I thought.
So we have a 3. We're doing 3.
So we have.
But I think the coolest action scene was actually whenever
we're doing averages. So.
It was whenever he was back in the.
Wait, hold on, time out.
Sorry. What?
I just want to point out how Wiley spelled samurai. Samuri. That's how he spelled samurai. So
it's an
AI. no, samurai. URAI. There you go. And we got this one at 3.375.
So 3.5.
No, we're doing exact.
No, why would we do exact?
Okay,
because we want to know. Because we're doing averages. Might as well.
First of all,
and that's a bad rating for it. But okay.
In your opinion,
I recall my vote. I'm bumping it up to a 4.
No, you're not.
Okay, so wow.
Same. No,
okay, we're done.
Okay, so I have 2 points really quick. 1, the format we're using doesn't have autocorrect, and 2, I agree with that. I think I enjoyed this movie more than I enjoyed Kong Skull Island.
Oh, God, that makes me mad.
Well,
Kong's obviously a funner movie.
I don't know.
Let me ask you: if you had to rewatch, you had the opportunity to rewatch one of those movies right now, which one would you rewatch?
The Last Samurai.
Oh my gosh! Wow, just rewatchability, like fun wise. Why would you watch The Last Samurai? Oh, okay. All right.
It has solid characters, and at least it has an entertaining.
See, you didn't find the characters entertaining, but they were definitely better than Kong Skull Island.
Danny just doesn't like history.
Well, no, Kong's out of the 2 movies, Kong is easily the best character.
I think I like Katsumoto a lot too. So
yeah, I liked him too. That's the only character I like.
All right, okay, so Kong Skull Island 3.17, The Last Samurai 3.375.
All right, so now I'm going to bring up my topic.
Now Danny's
all right, and I'm going to bring up movies. I'm going to keep it on movies.
All right, let's do it.
So
this is the random topic section, by the way.
Or we always talk about movies. So no. So last year, you guys know I started late last year. I started watching movies like every day because I wanted to like
unrealistically a lot. Yes,
I wanted to become like I kept watching these movie shows on YouTube and like listening to movie podcasts, and I wanted to be like, wow, these dudes know so much about movies. I want to like be like them.
Yeah.
So I started watching movies that I never would have watched, and like previous to last fall, I would have said, oh, critics are just like pretentious and they don't like superheroes. They only like these weird artistic movies and Martin Scorsese movies and whatever. Like, oh, I won't like that. They just like those because it's like smart. They think it's smart or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people feel like that about movies that like don't make a lot of money, but people are like, oh, this one is really good because no one's ever watched it. Like, I think people feel that way. But then I started watching like all these movies that people consider classics, especially like movies pre-1980s, pre-1970s, you know? and I'm like, I thought I wouldn't like these movies. I was like, oh, they're so old. People just think they're good because they're old. You know, like, oh, it's cool to like an old movie.
Now you think they're legitimately
but
genuine.
Now
movies.
I'm looking through my ratings of these movies that are on Letterboxd, and I'm like, the majority of the movies that I rate 5 stars and 4.5 stars are these movies that I wouldn't have watched a year ago. I would have been like, oh, I'm not going to watch The Godfather. Everyone thinks The Godfather is the best movie. I'm not going to like that. But like almost all these movies are movies I wouldn't have watched a year ago. And like probably my favorite director with Nolan is Stanley Kubrick, and I wouldn't have watched a single Stanley Kubrick movie last year. So I just want to ask you guys how you feel about old movies, and especially like even black and white movies, and what do you think about this? Like, how do you feel about like critic ratings of movies? And
well, can I answer this first?
Yeah, you can go. Just whatever.
So, addressing your first question, how do you feel about old movies? For example, not last week. The movie we watched for our movie club was 12 Angry Men, right?
That was one of the movies.
The 1959 versions. Honestly,
57.
57.
It was
57. Yeah. That was 57. The 1957 version of 12 Angry Men. That was one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. And
you didn't even give it 5 stars, but okay.
Well, going back now, I think I give it 5 stars. But there's 12 main. That's what I don't like. Obviously, there's one main character, but it makes you feel as if there's 12 main characters, and each one of those characters has a unique developed story, which is insane.
Yeah, I think,
and the fact that it was filmed in 21 days, as you said, is crazy.
And also the fact it was only like an hour and a half.
Yes,
so.
It's it's 1957.
You
black
feel
and
like
white.
each character has something meaningful to say.
Is it black and white?
It is
it's black.
Yeah,
it's black and white.
I don't know. You watch it and you're kind of...
Yeah, that's another director, Sidney Lumet. He's an old director.
That's the thing. That's how I classify a good black and white movie. If I can watch it, and in the end, I'm like, oh, wow, that was black and white. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because like for us, we're millennials, are we? No, we're not.
No, yeah, we are. No, we are. We're easily millennials.
Yeah. For us, it's weird for us to say...
And I think this is part of my question. I think if you ask most millennials, what do you think of black and white movies? They'd be like, oh, black and white. It's
exactly. Yeah, correct. I agree.
Oh, they're old movies. They won't apply to me or whatever. But
they do because we're all still humans.
Yeah, and I think some of these movies, because
while morals change,
like all the blockbuster movies we get now, most of them are action or superhero movies, which I like, but you don't get like human stories as much because no one wants to go to movies and watch a human story or watch a historical event. Like me and Sean always talked about this a few times. Like we don't get the war epics that we used to get back in the day because no one wants to go back in before I was born 40 years ago.
Wait, you haven't seen American Sniper?
No, I meant like war epics where you can literally see thousands of extras
if I can add to that, like the movie I loved so much from 1970 was Waterloo, and that's because it literally had 16,000 guys, and they were used from the Soviet army during that time period when this movie was made to be on the screen, and you actually see these guys in battle formations, and there's like one shot where they're panning left, and you see them, and they actually train before shooting, authentic Napoleonic battle formations and infantry commands, and you see all that, and you're like, this is no CGI.
Even in The Last Samurai, awesome. It's not to that scale, but even in The Last Samurai, you can see like, the battle. Gladiator had that. That's 2000. See, that's the thing. Even
Kingdom of Heaven.
The only directors nowadays that can do those huge war epics are like the huge famous directors, like Nolan.
Ridley Scott.
Christopher Nolan can do Dunkirk now because people will actually go watch his movies, which makes me sad because I know you've seen Spartacus, right?
Yes.
So I just watched Spartacus last week.
That battle scene in there was impressive.
I'm not going to say I love Spartacus. I did like it. But
there's a lot of weird things about that.
No, there's weird things, but like just that scope of the movie, of the epicness of it.
Of the Romans.
Back then they could release a movie over 3 hours long and people would stay in the theaters and watch it. Nowadays you can't do any of that because no one will watch it. And that's what kind of makes me sad because like no one wants to watch these long war epic movies. No one wants... Like, you hear indie movies, and they're called indie movies for a reason, because most people won't watch them. So, I mean, that's what I would say. Like, if you're one of those people that just thinks, oh, it's classic movies, I won't like those, it's not there's no superheroes in it, or, oh, that sounds boring. If me, because my opinion is the only one that matters. If I tell you a movie is good, you should go watch it, because it's probably good. No. But I'm just saying, give movies a chance that are black and white that are old.
That you
'Cause
wouldn't
I'm
necessarily
telling you,
watch otherwise.
that you think, oh, that's not a movie I would like.
It's not my style.
It's not action or it's not people blowing up or whatever. Because now I'm looking at I was the same way a year ago, but now I'm looking at like almost all the movies. Yeah, basically all my favorite movies are movies I wouldn't have seen a year ago, and that kind of makes me sad that I didn't start earlier. Mm-hmm. But I'm kind of glad I'm starting now, you know.
Well, and that's just comes by age, I think. The older you get, and you start to see things like.
But I think there's still, but I mean, it shows in the box office. Even people that are older now want to go watch movies.
It's like that with movies, as it was, you know, with some things like. I know I'm bringing up, you know, Napoleonic era again. That's because of the books I've been reading recently. But anyhow, when people I've heard people go like, I just don't understand that time period or the wars. Why would people just stand in line and just wait to be shot? I'm like, there's so much more to it. You know, guns were inaccurate. You know, it was like a 30-40% chance you were going to hit someone, so that's why they all fired in lines. It was like a shotgun.
See,
there's so much more to it, is what I'm saying. But people just are like this a lot. But as they get older, and it's like that with movies, like when it comes to old movies, to answer your first, I've never had a problem with it.
I know you don't.
You're
the one trying to get me to watch old movies.
Well,
when I
like Seven Samurai. I was a little kid, and I've watched that 1,000 times.
I still haven't watched that. I will watch it. So
but that, like, after watching that movie as a kid, I was like, man, you know, me and my brothers who would we would make our own flags and swords and play outside.
You grew up with that. See, most people don't grow up with old movies.
So that's why
their parents take them to see. But
that's why it was hard for me growing up, because people talk about X-Men or Star Wars, and I saw them and stuff. Yeah. But like, if I brought up these other movies, like Ben-Hur, or
that was a good movie. The recent Ben-Hur was pretty good.
The Seven Samurai. No, not the new one.
I know, not the new one, but I'm saying the recent.
I want to look at the one.
I watched the old one too.
I've never watched the new one yet, and I'm kind of afraid to, but we'll see.
It was okay.
Yeah.
I
just kind of want to see the battle scene.
It's at 25%.
Did they have a battle scene between the Gauls and?
I think so. Romans? It's been a while since I watched. I think it came out in 2014.
But anyhow, my point is, I love those movies, and I like the older I've got, as I mentioned with the Waterloo movie. It's just awesome to watch movies where you have all these props, all these guys on the screen, and of course you notice things like. If you look closely, not all of them are going to have muskets. Some of them are using World War II bolt-action rifles, and they're firing off, you know, what are those called? Fake rounds. I forgot what the term was. Blanks, yeah. But if you look closely, you can see these World War II rifles.
Yeah.
But in some shots, obviously, they would use real muskets if it's closer. But, you know, stuff like that is fun to me. So I've always had an appreciation for older movies because it's...
Speaking of World War II rifles, this is kind of very off topic, but did you know the M1 Garand is like, there's like thousands of them being released for sale that they just like whenever in arms use? Seriously. Like for around $150 each. At least this was true 2014. Oh. My dad was like super in, but it probably still is. My dad recently bought a Russian sniper rifle actually.
The Mosin?
Yes, actually.
Mosin Nagant? Oh boy!
It was World War
Daniel
I.
Stewart had two of those. Oh man, those are the days.
Right, sorry, back
to the topic. So what was your second question?
You said it was about directors, right?
No.
What do you think about old movies?
What do you think about why critics give them higher?
No, what do you think about critics rating movies? Like Rotten Tomatoes,
the bias that they have. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, like how do you what do you think about movie critics in general?
I don't have a problem because they're giving their opinion on the movie based on. I mean, and I'm not saying everyone's open to their opinion, you know, but I'm just saying like,
why not?
But if that's what they are, if that's what they do,
see,
let them do it.
I'll just say, like last year and like a few years ago, I always used to be like, oh, Rotten Tomatoes doesn't matter, or the critic score doesn't matter because. I mean, you should have that opinion. Now, like, if you want to watch a movie and you're really excited about it, don't let Rotten Tomatoes sway you.
But that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
That's what
but you have to understand, like, and the more and more I learn about movies, the more I understand, like, most critics are probably smarter than you when it comes to movies. They've watched thousands of movies, and they know which ones, for the most part, they know which ones are good, what makes a movie good, what makes it bad. And, like, it's not like they're just trying to go against the mainstream audience and say, oh, this movie's good because everyone else will think it's bad or whatever. But
But you do have to, like I said, you do have to be careful because there's so many people they listen to these guys.
Yeah,
and they follow them.
No, see, I think that's why. I think that's why.
I think that's.
I think it's important. Not just
audience.
I think it's important to find maybe a few critics that you like, maybe on YouTube or online, that you like, you feel like your opinions match up with theirs 90-80% of the time.
Because the difference between critic score and reviewer score is that critics are basically...
Critics are usually harsher on a movie because...
Well, not even that. Critics are basically viewers with a more respected opinion.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But also, like, they have a harsher opinion on movies sometimes because
they just watch more movies. They've watched so many much better movies.
And a lot of times critics just want to see something different. So if the mainstream audience hasn't seen this before, but critic has seen this movie 10 times because they've watched movies from the 1930s to now, and they've seen it happen before 10 times. They're going to probably give it a lower score, but
because
they've seen it happen before.
Because they've seen that same story with different characters 10 times, like you're saying.
And that's what I'm saying. And part of me is saying, yeah, if the critic says they've seen this before and the old movie's better, go watch that old movie because it probably is better.
Yeah, because it's the original.
Yeah. So, I mean, overall I'm saying...
But you have to take it all with a grain of salt.
Yeah, obviously, exactly. It's your opinion that matters the most. You have to take it with, okay, that's what they said. Now, let's see. But I think it's good, like...
Just like I told you guys, you should all really watch Das Boot. I like it. I thought it's one of my favorite war movies.
You'll probably pick that next. I'll wait until you pick it.
Well, I'm kind of debating between that and a few others.
I'll wait until you pick it for the group to watch it.
But I'm not saying...
Yeah.
Oh... Go watch it. Now it's the best movie, no question. And then someone watches it and they don't think so, and I'm gonna go like,
So I'm gonna give one example, kind of like that. Like we all had the teacher, Mr. Cunningham, in high school or whatever, and he always used to say, "Dr. Strange was my favorite movie. Dr. Strange was my favorite movie."
I've never seen that movie.
And then I would ask him, "Is it black and white?" And then he would say, "It's black and white." I'm like, okay, I'm never watching that.
Yeah, have you watched it?
Oh yeah.
Is it good?
Oh man, it's one of my favorite movies.
I haven't seen it. I've never seen it.
I mean, it just. Like, I was like, oh, it's black and white. It's made in the 70s, I think. 60s or 70s. But,
black and white
I was like,
70s?
1964.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, it's 1964. It's supposed to be a comedy. I'm not going to laugh at jokes people made in the 1960s. But, oh, man, when you watch it, it's like, it blends, like, satirical humor so well. Because back then they were dealing with the Cold War, and it makes fun of that a lot. But, like, even a lot of that stuff can apply today. So, like, that's the thing. A lot of these 1960 movies still apply today, character-wise.
Which that's one reason why I like older movies, because there was not that there isn't anything to be satirical about, especially politically today. But back then it was more satirical, and you had to be more in tune. Like, oh, that's what they're trying to say. Now it's just like, I hate Donald Trump. He sucks. You know what I mean? Like oh, there is some satire.
I mean, there's still amazing movies that are coming out every year.
Yeah,
Like people don't hear about it because they don't go in theaters or no one talks about it.
See, but this is why movies is becoming such a fine appreciation of art and history too. Because as we all grow older and older, more movies come out throughout the decades, throughout at a time, and we can look back. And like history books. That's why, like historians, people like me who love it, who like studying about a country that existed so many years ago.
And not just like historical.
It's like that with movies now.
No,
and that's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
Because people are like, hey, have you heard of, I forgot what it was called, Mordor? It's a German old black and white movie. And it's about a murderer who basically kidnapped and killed young girls.
Oh, jeez.
What's it called?
It's called. I think it's called Mordor. M-O-D. I know the region in Lord of the Rings, but that's a German word for murder.
Lord of the Rings,
or an old
young
German.
Girls.
I'm not seeing that.
Or murder. Just type in murder. Old German film. I think the villain, the guy who played the villain, was a Hungarian actor. But
was it 1931?
I think so. Could be that. Is there a picture of it?
Is it a picture of the ham with the M on it?
Yes, that's it.
It's called M.
Yeah, M.
German. Einstein shot time murder. Hey, there's murder in the German title, so
yeah.
The city looks for a murderer.
But you see stuff like that, so people are like, "Hey, let's watch that," and you appreciate. You watch these things and you appreciate, hey, that I like how that director did this, or I like how that.
I agree, but the problem is like you just said, hey, let's watch that. A lot of people today are like,
oh, I know,
let's not watch that.
But,
which is sad.
It's just like, but it's the same with history buffs too.
Yeah.
How many history buffs do you run into out there? Hardly any.
Yeah.
And most of them are guys, obviously. But but you have that group that you can enjoy it with.
Yeah.
Just like with movies. Obviously, all of us in here can agree there's no problem with old movies. There's no problem watching even silent movies. There's no problem watching that stuff. What was it? Harrison Adkins is among that group too. He loves watching old movies.
Yeah.
He was talking about one. Oh no, not him. Luke Page. He was talking about one. It was called The Birth of the Nation, I think.
B.W. Griffith.
But the original one was black and white, and it was a silent movie.
That's the original one I was talking about.
Yeah, and it went on for hours too. Yeah. And that's a silent movie, and it's like, how did they do that? But you watch it, and you appreciate.
Well, that movie is controversial because it's basically glorifying the KKK. That's what that movie's about.
Oh, I've heard otherwise. But
go read the.
I haven't. Like I said, I just heard this from Luke's point of view.
Sean, it's a good movie.
No, but anyway, a lot of people respect. A lot of people consider that the first great movie because they whatever. What they were able to do just cinematically make a movie like that.
Which
at that time.
You can appreciate it a lot more because they didn't have stuff like CGI. Mm-hmm. Right? So when there's...
So that's why I was saying about Waterloo. Or, older ones like Seven Samurai, The 300 Spartans. That was a classic one where they had just countless amount of people. Mm-hmm. And that's what made it awesome. No CGI, no black, green, everything nowadays... If they made, a war film about Verdun or something, and they needed a shot with a...
Well, think about Hacksaw Ridge.
Guys, oh, yeah, that too. But you could tell they obviously green screened a lot of that stuff. Especially the large bonsai charge scene, and they have that camera pan out, and you see the entire field. You could just see their digital Japanese guys running across. I mean...
Stick figures.
For me... As I grew up with those old films and saw real people in masses charging, it's hard for me to appreciate. I mean, it's neat to see how technology can do that, but at the same time, it's just it would be so much cooler though to see real men,
But then you also get something like The Jungle Book that came out last year, which was done entirely.
Yeah,
that was
but
good.
That's neat.
But that's live action version, and that was a work of art. And now they're talking about doing a Lion King version. Has it been confirmed? Or they're
already doing it.
Yeah, which is going to be really
so
awesome.
It's
anyway,
interesting. But anyhow,
yeah, let's go back to. We'll just close it. Okay. I think classic movies and movies of all generations. I think basically why we're doing this podcast is so we can go more in depth about movies and
definitely
for sure.
Not just
random
conversations about movies, but you go in depth on why you like it.
This is our first podcast.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we get ourselves
some slack.
Yeah,
but at the same time, we have to kind of look back on this and structure ourselves better with stuff. But.
So I mean, go watch old movies because they're good.
Yeah,
and
go watch Kong Skull Island and go watch The Last Samurai.
Watch movies to enjoy the art behind it, not just the movie for itself, but how do these people create it? What did they do? Behind the scenes stuff. That's fun to take interest in. And then overall enjoy the movie for the movie, if it is enjoyable to begin with. Unless it's I don't know, the B movie.
Don't knock it till you try it, man.
The B movie. Oh my god,
that movie sucked.
All right, and that's my cue. The B movie.
So are we good?
I think we're good. All right,
close us out, man.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Close us out, Danny.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
All right, y'all have a good night.